Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the Nobody Asked podcast, the podcast you didn't ask for. I'm your host, Ben Timperio, and I just got done recording the very first episode, which I think you guys are going to enjoy a lot. Just a little brief introduction to the podcast and myself, since this is episode 1. Basically, kind of the idea of this podcast is every episode we're going to be interviewing odd internet icons from the past or present. These can either be people from like really famous clips or memes, or people maybe that have carved out really specific niches for themselves on the internet. And we're just going to be learning more about them and like questions that we've never really known about them. So yeah, I've thought about doing a podcast for a while. I know that's kind of like I saw a thing where that's like the guy's version of an OnlyFans, So let's be honest, if there was a market for it, I'd probably have an OnlyFans too. So, here we are. But I've actually been hesitant to make a podcast because I kind of view podcasting like vlogs, where I would only ever vlog if my life was just so extraordinary that it like justified having a vlog. And I feel like a lot of podcasts that people try and start, they think their lives are super interesting and stuff, and like they just talk about nothing. And I think what makes a podcast interesting is the guests and having really interesting and like unique dialogue with people that are fascinating people, So I think that's what's going to make this fun and exciting. And it's not super serious. You can tell it's pretty low budget. We're just, doing this for fun. So hopefully you guys will have fun with it. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our very first guest, which I'm very excited about. You all know him from this super viral clip.
Antoine Dodson heard his sister scream and ran to help.
Well, obviously, we have a rapist in Lincoln Park. He's climbing in your windows. He's snatching your people up, trying to rape them. So y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband, because they raping everybody out here.
That clip has over 78 million views and was also remixed into a song that got over 150 million views.
So hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your wife.
And this is at like over a decade ago, 2009 kind of time. I'd like just like the genesis of the internet and like the classic viral video. This is one of like the OG icons of the internet era. So I know a lot of you probably don't know anything else about Antoine Dodson other than that one clip. So it's going to be fun to catch up and learn a lot about him and where he's been in life since then. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. So what's up? I'm here with Antoine Dodson, the man, the myth, the legend. How are you doing, buddy?
Hey, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. I appreciate you making time to do this.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So what you been up to, man?
Oh, nothing. Finally, the world is starting to open back up a little. You can get some work.
Yeah. I feel you.
I know. Because, I make my money through, hosting gigs and parties in different states and cities. And when COVID hit, all that like shut down. So,
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. So you're like a promoter or something like that for clubs and stuff?
No, I'm not necessarily a promoter, but the promoter does find me and say, hey, we want to book you to come to this event.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you've been getting that again, or is that you're still waiting for that stuff to pick up?
Yeah, it's slowly picking up. It's not as many as it was before COVID. So,
okay. Well, that sounds like a pretty fun job. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. It pays the bills. It's fun.
All right, awesome. Well, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Most people know you from that very viral interview from over a decade ago now.
Obviously, we have a rapist in Lincoln Park. He's climbing in your windows. He's snatching your people up, trying to rape them. So y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband, because they raping everybody out here.
Summarize it for people from your first person perspective that might not remember it super clearly. Can you take us through that day?
Yeah, well, obviously, basically, yeah, it happened 11 years ago. I was at my sister's house. I had just took my hair down from braids and stuff, so that's where the red bandana came from.
Oh, okay. It's iconic.
Yeah, I went to sleep at her house, and I heard these screams in the middle of the night. And when I jumped up and opened my eyes, the screams continued. So I'm like, what is going on? Am I tripping or what?
Yeah, that's
So
intense.
so I go to her room and it's dark. And when I open the door, I see nothing but like silhouette from the light coming from the street light shining in the window. And I seen like a silhouette image of like a man on top of a woman,
Oh,
like on
wow.
the floor, like really like choking her. So immediately I went into attack mode and dug my neck, because I keep those long nails.
Okay, all right.
Dug my nails like in his shoulders to pull him off her, and he swung into the hallway. And I was going into the hallway with him, and he did this little basketball move under my arm and ran into the kitchen. I'm like, oh shit, I think he's getting ready to kill us all,
Oh my
because we on
God, yeah.
second, second story. I'm not thinking like, oh, this dude actually came through through a window. I didn't think that. In my mind, I'm like, this dude probably put some weapons somewhere in the
Yeah.
kitchen, and he's going back to get them. So I'm trying to rush all the girls in the room. I'm like, y'all go in the room, lock the door, call the police. But I am finna go in here. Whatever you hear, don't open that door. Whatever you hear, just stay on the phone with the police and don't come out for no reason. So as I was going into the kitchen, I noticed that my middle sister was still out there. And she was scared as I do not know what. But I ended up taking her to the other room and closing the door and locking it. And I called the police. And they were saying that they was on the phone with Kelly, that I could get off the phone. I said, cool, stay on the phone. I'm going to be listening out for y'all. So I don't remember how the police got in, but I remember seeing their lights flashing
Yeah.
under the door. So I opened the door and I'm like, oh my God, thank you. I'm here with all these girls and I don't know what, but he's in the kitchen, still thinking this dude is still in the house.
Yeah.
Still not thinking he jumped out the window.
No, wait, he left by jumping out the window again, like a second story window?
A second story window.
Dang.
And so the officer was like, let me show you how he got in here. I thought I was on first 48. But he was like, let me take you to show you how he got in. He showed me where the dude had propped the city garbage up over the overhang of a door, because it's made of concrete.
Yeah.
So he was able to use the city garbage, jump on the concrete, and then climb in the window. Remind you, the day that I took my braids down, I was cooking some steaks. And I don't know if you're familiar with the trucks that come around that sell like steaks and stuff that you could buy with meat. Oh, and that was so she had them in the freezer. I was ready to eat them, but she had this little cheap ass pot. So when you turn the stove, and in the hood, they don't have electric stoves, it's straight gas, know. So it was burning the hell out of that stove, that pot. So I had to crack the window open so it would air out, and forgot to raise the window down. That's how he got in.
That's crazy.
Yes. It was such a crazy day. But I stayed up that entire morning when the police came and escorted us to where we needed to be. I was on the phone in the yellow, because, back in the day, we used yellow pages.
Yeah.
I was calling every investigator in Huntsville that I could. And finally, one man answered the phone. And he was like, yeah, I'll come out there, this, that, and the other, and, get the evidence or whatever you need. Just tell me what I need to do and where he's been.
Yeah.
So I investigated that morning at the place, and we doing our little first 48,
Yeah, the whole nine.
I swear to God, I thought I was an investigator that day, but a crime scene investigator. So we get all the evidence and stuff, and all of a sudden, it's just like a whole bunch of stuff started happening at one time. We got the lady next door coming outside like, this ain't happening till y'all got out here, blase, blase, blase. And you got Jenny Powell's ass with the news people coming with her and the cameraman. And then you got the church people, they coming to me talking about, hey, do you want your kids to go to church? We'll pick them up on Sundays. That's why I got the white piece of paper that was in my hand, because it was so much going on, and they gave me the church schedule. So I just had it in my hand, and after I got through talking to her, I started arguing with the neighbor, and so Jenny Powell was throwing the microphone in my face. I'm like, do you have anything you want to say? And I'm like, because I'm arguing with this girl, so I'm like, yeah, well, obviously, when you get through running your mouth, y'all need to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband, because it's a rape, because they raping everybody out here. It's just that simple. So, because I didn't want people to think like, oh, this lady talking all this trash, like, oh, this is their fault. They're the reason why this is happening. I'm like, no, man, we ain't even been out here a whole bunch.
Yeah, y'all the victims. Yeah, it's crazy that they were blaming you guys for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was very crazy that day.
So, just talking to you, like, it's clear that you kind of have like you're able to have a sense of humor about the situation, even though it was like a really intense and like possibly very traumatic experience for you. Like, what was it like when the clip on the internet blew up like crazy and everyone was kind of making fun of that clip? But like, were you able to kind of separate it and see the humor in it, or was it hard for you because it was this kind of traumatic event, you know?
Well, first off, when people say, yeah, it's not that I make light of situations, but what people don't understand is we dealt with rape when we were children. So we were able to so when this happened, and he actually didn't rape her, he tried to.
Yeah.
But by the time this situation had came, we was already prepared for what the world had to, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, oh, we're depressed, we're going to commit suicide. It was never that situation that back in the day when we were kids and we were getting raped and stuff like that, like it was hurtful. It was hurtful or whatever and traumatic, but by the time that situation came, we were cool. We knew how to mentally deal with it.
Yeah.
So of course, you know, people was making fun. They was making fun of it, and people were thinking it was a joke, or they had forgot about the whole situation at hand.
Yeah.
And I understand because my family has always told me when I speak, it sounds like a funny song.
Yeah.
They said when you speak, you have this music about your voice, and then the way you say things make it even more funny. So it's hard if you're ever serious. We don't know if you're serious or not.
Yeah.
So, you know, I understood that the way the people took it. You know what I'm saying? However, I will say this. At the beginning, I did hate the song.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get there because there was a remix made of it that got like 150 million views, and you even performed live at the BET Hip Hop Awards, right?
So hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husbands, cause they're raping everybody out here. You don't have to come and confess. We're looking for you.
And do you have any musical background at all? Like, how did you get, like, what was that experience like where like they took this like clip of you, you know, like talking about this traumatic event and turned it into a song? And then everyone thought it was like really funny. And then, you know, within a year or two, you're performing it at like one of the largest hip hop award shows in the country. Like that's such a crazy journey.
No, I performed that 3 months later after being famous.
Really? Like, 3 months?
Work started taking off of me that same week. Like I went to bed, nobody knew who I was when that interview took place.
Yeah.
My friend called me and was like, you know, you was on the news today on a local station. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Somebody put it on YouTube. So I went to YouTube and it had like 300 some views. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh yeah, Huntsville saw that. You know, it ain't nothing.
Like they're the locals, yeah.
Right, they the locals, but I was so curious to know, like, was people really watching it? And when I went back, it had like 12,000 views. And I'm like, wait, this got to be beyond Huntsville. So we watching it grow, and I'm telling you, like the very next day, it was at 1 million something views, and I had all these emails. I don't know how people got my Gmail. I don't know how people got my Facebook, and they were hitting me up left and right, trying to manage me, trying to get me to go out of town, to do all these hosting gigs and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what to do at this point.
Yeah.
But I knew that if I took some of that work, I knew that it would get us out of the situation that we were in.
Okay.
And that's why I kept going.
So yeah, let's talk about that for a little bit. Cause when this kind of situation blew up, you, as you call it, were like living in the projects. And like, when this blew up, you saw it as a way out. And then you kind of briefly pursued this kind of entertainment career for a little bit. Like, and with like the BET Hip Hop Awards, and you were doing all these kind of like, you were going on Tonight shows and things like that. Like, so just talk about like, you know, what it was like getting that sudden, you know, tons of exposure and like kind of becoming an overnight celebrity, and like what being like a meme, basically, like how that changed your life, you know?
I will say this, it was fun. I really enjoyed it. Um, there's always a blessing and a curse because I did meet a couple of sharks. I'm not gonna say I did sign a lot of bad contracts,
Yeah.
and I mixed in with a lot of bad people. But overall, the journey was fun. I got to eat, I done went from eating 4 for $4s at Wendy's to
Hey, I still eat the 4
$400,
for 4.
and eating like $400 and $500 meals up in
Yeah.
Manhattan. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And I'm still working up to this day. And, people still notice me even up to this day.
Yeah, it sounds like you're still getting opportunities from that. So it's kind of cool that, it turned this really negative situation into like extreme positive, which is really cool.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
So this is just kind of more like a fun question. You were kind of like one of the OG icons of the internet, like one of these first viral sensations. What do you think about like the new guard, like the new internet celebrities, like the TikTokers and like Bryce Halls and Jake Pauls? Like, what do you think about all this kind of new era stuff? Because when you were around, that wasn't really a thing. Like when you first blew up.
No, because what they're doing now is what I was trying to do back then.
Yeah, but the platform like wasn't there.
And they kept saying like, oh, like, if you notice, I was the guy that wore the long hair, the long weaves and stuff like that, and they hated that. They wanted to change who I was so badly. And it's like today you see a lot of the men wearing wigs and now they wearing lace fronts and color wigs and they're making a hell of a lot of money for it. Yeah. But I got the whips on my back from being beaten for doing stuff like that was not heard of, you know what I'm saying? Or popular in 2010. Thank y'all.
You're a trailblazer. You're ahead of your time, man.
But yeah, and with the new celebrities, to be truthfully honest, I really do think that it's watered down. Like everybody is doing one thing go viral, then everybody is doing it, and they're burning out so quickly, and they keep wondering why Antoine is still relevant today. Like people, they try to say like, oh, you're a one-hit wonder, but I'm still booking gigs. I am still in the movies. Every time you go to the movies, you see a picture of me, you see my reference, you see my face. When you cut on your TVs, no matter if you're watching these sitcoms and reality shows, there is always Antoine Dodson somewhere in the mix, even today. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather people just be, authentic.
Yeah.
Create something that'll last a lifetime, not create something that's going to last this weekend. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean by the new wave. It's just so watery now.
Would you ever participate in one of these like influencer boxing matches? Because people loved you, dude. I think
I did. Have? Yes.
Who'd you fight?
Well, it's a whole bunch of stuff behind that, but you can always Google it and check it out for yourself.
So let's talk about something a little more serious. Now that we got some of the fun stuff out of the way. In 2013, you got a little bit of flack from the gay community. At the time, you were like very prominently like a gay figure. And you made this statement where you were talking about kind of how you were turning straight and that you'd been, you changed religions, you changed sexualities, all that kind of stuff. Tell me about that kind of personal journey with your sexuality and religion.
I said that? No. Basically what it was is I was going through something with this guy that I was dating. And when you're mad, you say stupid shit that will make the other person upset or whatever. But I didn't realize that, because this was 2013, I still hadn't realized that the things that I say had such an impact on people.
Yeah.
So I just made a Facebook post, basically saying like what you just said. And it just took a life of its own. And everybody was retweeting it. All the news people was talking about. I'm like, this cannot be news. Like, I was mad, but now the whole world is talking about it. Now I have to live up to what I said or whatever. But overall, I did find a girl that I actually fell in love with, and we had a child together. But when that didn't last, I went straight back to dudes. Like, it wasn't nothing. You know, I love who loves me, whether it's a guy or a girl, you know what I'm saying? And I just had to live up to what I was saying when I got upset with old dude.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's a really good answer. I think too, let's talk about your family, because now you have a kid, right? Do you have one kid, multiple?
One.
Yeah. How old is he or is she?
7.
7.
He's 7. Yeah.
What's that been like? What's it been like being a father?
It slowed me down a whole lot because, you know, I was in the streets. I love the club. I love the hood. And when he came along, he slowed all that down. And I started to find my actual true purpose in life, and raising him and showing him the way, and knowing that if I don't teach him, he won't know. You know what I'm saying? So I had to cut a lot of stuff out. And, you know, now he's old enough to where he can speak. He can tell me if somebody did him wrong or anything like that. Now I'm able to move around, and plus his mom, he got his mom. So if I'm out of town, you know, it's better.
Okay.
That way, now that he's older, yeah.
What do you think's been like one of the most rewarding parts about being a father, you know? Because you're still relatively new at that. Like what's been like, you know, the most rewarding part of that?
No. I've been a dad all my life. I am the oldest of 9 kids. I've raised 5 of them ever since I was like 7 or 8. So I'm used to
even your story about the news clip, you were looking out for your siblings. So I believe that, yeah.
Exactly. So, but when I had my biological, what really changed was, you know, with your brothers and sisters, you could drop their ass back off anytime you get ready, when you get tired. But when you got your own child, you cannot do that. And you have to sit and suffer. When they crying and you don't know what's wrong, you got to just cry with them until you get better. But yeah, he taught me a lot about myself. He taught me how to not be so angry. He taught me how to, you know, think about situations before I actually do. He really slowed me down and opened me up to see, like, hey, there's a different way of handling things. So I do give him that.
Yeah. That's cool. It's cool to see, like, you know, just the journey that you've been on, you know, it's cool.
Thank you.
So tell us like about your future plans, right? You said you're still kind of in the entertainment space. You're doing these promos and stuff. Have you ever thought about, you know, now that there's this bigger platform for like online influencers, have you thought about dipping your toes back into that space or making new content?
No, because as far as like being an influencer or a blogger of that sort, for one, I was not born in an era where you're always in somebody else's business.
Yeah.
Like, I can't see myself reporting celebrity news and business. And also, I just got a whole new business mind. I am now more into the NFT world now. I'm starting to learn the way the NFT work and stuff like that. I just sold my very first NFT ever. I'm trying to wait. I got this little copyright thing going on with WAFF with the original video because I posted it as an NFT a couple of weeks ago. And man, when I tell you I was about to be a millionaire, but they sent me a DMCA. And yeah, we had to take that down. So now I'm trying to see, like, what can we do to get this NFT? Because you may not need the money as WAFF 48, but me and my son, we do.
Yeah.
So
that'd be a life changer. I saw recently the girl, do you know Disaster Girl, like the meme? She recently sold like the original thing for like $500,000. So like,
and Charlie bit my finger was 8.
Yeah, dude, you can get on that for sure.
But WAFF, they own. I'm trying my best to see how can I get that video and use it for a NFT.
All right, I think like yeah, you can sort that out. There's enough money to be made there. I think that everyone will get on the same page. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's kind of all I had for you, man. You got any thoughts or questions you want to say before you go?
No, but I do want to say, all you new influencers and bloggers, don't take everything I say to heart. I just talk a lot of shit on the internet. I do not mean for it to be real or realistic. It's just me talking bullshit because that's just how I do. And the new influencers, stop with this watered down ass message. We need some substance. We want to laugh. We love to laugh.
Let's go.
Give us that.
Would you ever get in the ring with any of the new guys, like a Bryce Hall or something?
Hell yeah.
You would? I think you'd beat his ass. People would love to see that.
Yeah, I'm a fighter. I'm from Chicago, yes.
All right, man. Have a good one. It's been a pleasure talking to you, man.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Peace out, man. So that was Antoine Dodson. Major thanks to him. He's super awesome. Really a joy to talk to. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to follow, like, subscribe, share, all that kind of jazz. Because we're going to have a lot more awesome guests lined up. I already have some other interviews lined up. So it's going to be fun and exciting. So if you like it, stick around. If not, what the fuck are you doing here? Get out. Leave. All right. Thanks for watching or listening or consuming in general.